Points. Howdy there, partner, and welcome back to another episode of the Broad Points Podcast. I am your host, the broad that points, the broad with the points. It's me, Tyler, the lady. Yes, you guys, it's me. We are here. You are here. Thank you for being a listener. Guess what? We have made it to episode 50. Yeah! You are currently listening to episode 50 of the Broad Points Podcast. Welcome. Take a load off. Enjoy yourself. Seriously, though, I have been having such a blast doing this podcast, connecting with people, you know, spreading love, spreading light, spreading positivity in all of the ways that I possibly can. It's beautiful. I am just really so grateful to be here and to be able to share with you every week or almost every week. We know how it goes. Life happens, right? Life happens, and that is a-okay. We stride for progress, not perfection here. Brutally honest. Lots of information. Some may say too much information. I say it's never enough information because I'm usually going to ask more questions, which is why I started this podcast, right? I wanted to be able to share, and not just my perspectives and my beliefs and, you know, some of the lessons that I've learned, but also that of others. There's more people in the world. We've heard from a few of them. I am very much looking forward to sharing some more perspectives with you all, because I truly believe that there's not just one way to live on this planet. There's not just one way to live, period. And so for me, I had found myself in a position in life where I personally just have a hard time letting go of things. If that's like one of my toxic traits, like that might be the one, you know? And letting go of stuff has just always been so hard for me. And so when you hold on to things, especially, you know, beliefs that maybe weren't even your beliefs to begin with. They might have been somebody else's beliefs that were, you know, impressed upon you. We kind of start to feel stagnant. We kind of start to feel like some things maybe aren't the way that we want them to be, or the way that we thought our lives would be. I don't know how many of you have looked in the mirror and have been like, what am I doing with my life? But I had that moment. I did, and I chose, because life is filled with choices. Every moment of every day is a choice to be made. I chose to seek self-help, right? I chose to go down, you know, the coaching path, to really pursue my artistic side, and as a result, I mean, I have just really flourished. I've found so many people that really resonate with me deeply. We're able to connect on such a deep and personal level, and we share a lot of the same beliefs. Not that I surround myself with only people that are yes people. I do believe that it is healthy to have, you know, healthy debate. I think that it's important, and I don't ever talk politics ever or anything like this, but no matter what is being debated, you have to know both sides. You have to understand one another. There is a connection. There is a unity that happens. And we may not always agree on things, but we're always heard. And that is really who I surround myself with now is, the people who want to communicate, the people who want to connect. And, building community, it takes that. It takes multiple different people from a variety of backgrounds to come together to build something that can really grow and flourish as, its own thing. And so I have just really enjoyed being able to be here, being able to connect with some people, being able to share some of those views, because when I started to go outside of myself, and I mean myself in that moment, right? Myself that was locked away by maybe other people's beliefs, I was able to establish my own beliefs. I was able to decide who I wanted to be. And so these fundamental phrases that I introduce, in every single episode, they really are just a mantra. They're a northern light. They're that guiding star, if you will, to just kind of allow you to choose what you believe. It's just another choice, another choice that you get to make. And I can't wait to share more people with you. This is my last week in the USA. So as you're hearing this, if you're listening on Monday, this is my last day in the US for a couple weeks. So when I come back, I plan to introduce a lot more perspectives to you, share a lot more people with you. That it's just such a cool world out there. And I think that by seeing our options, seeing what else is out there, seeing what else is possible, we can choose what we want to apply ourselves to, where we want to devote our time and our energy while we have it here on this planet. I personally have been dedicating a lot of time to art, right? I've been word of mouth art and podcasting, which I guess is word of mouth. But I just recently submitted some pieces to an exhibit for the Riverside Art Exhibit, and I had 4 different pieces selected. It's really just such a blessing. I was telling you guys last week, if you want recognition, you've got to keep doing the things that you want recognition for. And so art has been something that it was always on the back burner for me. I don't know why I let my creative side kind of fall away. And as a result, I was so miserable just focusing all of my energy on corporate. And I'm not saying that corporate is all bad. Corporate can be consistent, right? Until we can find consistency with our passions, I think that there is absolutely value in a corporate job. And who knows, maybe you actually work for a corporation that is, in alignment with your values or your beliefs. That's awesome. I think no 2 corporations are made the same. And so, the world is out there. The world is out there for you to make your own choices and decide where you want to go. I'm very excited, to be selected, to be featured in exhibits. I will say the caveat, me, I'm always so honest, is that the drop-off time is just not possible for me. I was hoping that they would get back to me sooner than the end of June, as I am going out of the country for 2.5 weeks, but they didn't. They let me know on Friday that I was selected, and we're leaving Tuesday. I have no time to drive to Riverside and drop off 4 massive paintings. So, I'm very, very grateful for that. I will be, submitting some more pieces to some future exhibits. And what I believe here in this situation is that everything truly happens for a reason. That was one of our past fundamental phrases. Everything happens for a reason. And I really do believe that we have to trust the process. We really do just have to say, hey, maybe this one didn't work out because there's a different one that will be closer, that will be more convenient to drop off your art. Lots of variables, right? But this gives me the knowledge, the confidence that I can do it, right? We never know the answers to the questions that we don't ask. And so this was my first time actually submitting paintings to be featured in an exhibit. So to be selected, it's such an honor. It's such a blessing. And, it didn't come from me running around like a crazy person with my head chopped off. It actually came from me letting the dust settle. Yeah, letting the dust settle, you guys. I've been through a lot in this life. When I tell people about how much I've been through in this life, sometimes they're actually shocked. They are like, but you're just so happy and you're so positive, and how did you get like this? And I was, honestly, if I didn't learn to laugh at every single thing in this life, honestly, life is just such a joke, I would have gone crazy. I would not be here right now. And so that is why I am here telling you to not take it so seriously. No matter what happens, do not take it so seriously and just laugh it off. Laugh it off. I mean, sometimes you look a little crazy. I did see this meme on social media the other day and it resonated so deeply with me. It said, I giggle before I go crazy. And sometimes that's true. Like sometimes the things in life are just so comedically bad that I just have to laugh before I go crazy. Like it's just, I don't know. Laughter is medicine. It really is. And, I let the dust settle. I was, in some situations that were not great for me. We've talked about a few of them, but multiple different situations that every time it's a new opportunity for transition. It's a new opportunity for change. And rather than going out and going wild and just being crazy, I really wanted to find where I wanted to apply myself, what I wanted to do. And by letting the dust settle, I was able to find clarity in the stillness. I used to be a huge sensory deprivation float tank person. I was so into it. I have to say, all of the ones that I've tried one in the desert, was absolutely garbage. I love a good sensory deprivation tank. They are saltwater tanks that are completely sealed in. You're like in this little capsule. It's completely dark and you're just able to float there. And I have reached some deep states of meditation in these tanks. And I feel like in all of the times when I was so crazy and there was so much stuff going on in my life, stillness is where I really found comfort. It's really where I was able to establish my next moves. And I remember this session in one of these float tanks where I was just, my eyes were open. Let's start there. My eyes were open and I'm sitting in the dark, and all of a sudden I start to see these like flashes of light, and I'll never forget it. The light was like this like red, orange, yellow kind of like glowing fireball thing, but it looked like a walking person. And they were walking from the left side of my vision across to the right. And by the time that light got to the right, it would be zapped back to the left. And then it would start its walk again. And I watched it do this. I don't even know how many times before I realized it was me. By laying there, by having nothing in my vision, by not thinking of anything, by just allowing life to come to me, I found so much clarity. People see all sorts of crazy stuff when they're in these tanks. I'm going to also throw that in here. But in this moment, I had been in a position, in a relationship, in a job, in a lot of different things where I was just constantly getting pulled back. I was making progress forward and I was being pulled back. And that was my sign. That was my moment where I realized I needed to make a change. I was not comfortable in my body. I was very unhealthy at the time. I couldn't even tell you, what I weighed at that time. There's almost no pictures of me at this period of my life. because it was just, I was not taking care of myself. I was not allowed to be around other people. Lots of things were happening here. And so I was able to find this stillness. I was able to find the clarity that I needed to be able to move forward. Now, with that, shall we get into the fundamental phrase for the week? I think we shall. This week's fundamental phrase is, worrying doesn't take away tomorrow's troubles. It takes away today's peace. Yes, you guys, worrying. Oh my gosh. I used to love me a good worry. Even every now and then I'll find a worry coming up and I'll kind of play along with it for a little bit before I realize just like how emotionally draining and anxiety building it is. And, you know, it's just, we have the opportunity for peace today. We have the opportunity for peace in this moment. We have no control of what is going to happen tomorrow or the next day or the next day or next month or next year. It's out of our control. And sometimes we really have to surrender to that. We really have to just say, okay, and let it go. As hard as it is for me to let it go, you guys, we've just got to let it go. And we have to focus on today. We have to focus on what we can do today to bring ourselves peace. And I want to say too here that you are always deserving of peace. And so, you know, no matter what's going on, no matter where you're at, mentally, physically, spiritually, it doesn't matter. You can choose to have peace today. You can choose to apply yourself today rather than worrying about it. There was a period in my artist career where I was so ashamed of my creations. I didn't think that anything was ever good enough. Everything could always be better, so nothing was ever finished. It was an incredibly toxic way to live. It was horrible. It's horrible. I mean, I had paintings that like I didn't sign for years because I was just like, they could be better. This is trash. And honestly, it's insane to look back at now and think about all of the worrying I did and thinking of, oh, well, if I'm an artist, then I'm going to be a starving artist and I'm not going to make any money and I'm going to have all these things. And didn't make any sense. I mean, I never knew until I tried. I mean, we'll go into age now. I'm 31 years old and I've just been selected for an exhibit, but that's only because I just applied myself. We have to apply ourselves to the things that we want in this life. All of the things that we want to see and be and do, we have to choose to do it. We have to choose to show up. And, you know, I will say not everything is a success on the first time. Sometimes, you know, you get knocked down. You do. Not everything is perfect. I mean, not everything we try, we're good at on the first try. That doesn't mean that we won't grow into it. It doesn't mean that that can't be our passion, right? If we get knocked down, we have to get back up and begin again. I think about like comedy. I mean, risk versus reward, right? I mean, you're going up there, you're on stage, you're telling a bunch of jokes to people who may or may not laugh. When people don't laugh, it can be pretty brutal standing up there with the microphone in your hand, right? It's just, I mean, whether it's like lack of audience or lack of connection with the audience, like, I mean, it could be any sort of variable. I mean, maybe your jokes just aren't funny, but I mean, I know my jokes were funny. And it's hard to tell jokes to 5 people in a room that's supposed to maybe have, 35 people and try to connect with them all. But, we try. We try. Why do we try? Why do we risk all of this, potential embarrassment for the reward of laughter. I cannot tell you guys how good laughter feels. Not just to engage in it yourself, but to receive it from others. I love laughter so much. I know how much of a medicine it has been for me to get through this life. And so to be able to gift that to others, it is so rewarding. That reward is monumental to me. Maybe not to you. Maybe you don't like laughter. Maybe you just like to be serious all the time. That's fine. You don't have to laugh. No one's trying to make you laugh. You don't even have to smile if you don't want to smile. But what I will say is that when you do smile, when you, like, even when you're feeling mad, like if you're really feeling mad and you just force a smile, you start to send signals to your brain that you're happy. Our minds and our bodies are so connected. And so even in some of the hardest times in my life, I have tried to smile. I've just tried to put on a smile to tell my brain that we can get there again, that we can apply ourselves, we can, actually find happiness. And, in order to do that, we really do have to be here now. We have to be right here, right now. And it can be hard. I mean, there's so much stuff pulling our attention away from this moment. Email, social media, just the internet in general. It's so wild. It's crazy out there. It's a crazy world. But we choose where we want to be. And I want to be here now. I want to be here now. I want to focus on the present. And, I'm going to be here now every day, every moment. Especially over these next 2.5 weeks, because I will not be here in the US. I will be over in Europe. We're doing it, you guys. 2.5 weeks. London, Amsterdam, Paris, Zurich, Milan. I'll catch you in 2 weeks. It's going to be a great time. The entire time that I am going to be there, I have packed 2 pairs of Xero shoes. Yes, the barefoot minimalist shoe, Xero with an X. They just have some really awesome shoes. I love the wide toe box. I've got these fat little piggies that I don't like to stuff them in those like pointy-toed shoes. I am not about that. I want my toes spread. Freedom. I live in America. I enjoy freedom of my toes. Spread them out. So seriously, I can't wait to wear them. A lot of people say when you're traveling to Europe, nobody's like wearing athletic shoes. I don't know what this big obsession with everybody in the States wearing athletic shoes all the time is, but we do it. Over there, they don't do it. So they recommend, like a nice white leather pair of shoes. Guess what? The Dylans. My Dylans that I purchased, I am bringing those. I'm actually bringing 2 pairs of Dylans. One is a black canvas with a gum sole because we're going to go see Linkin Park in Wembley. I feel like black is appropriate. I don't know about you. Black shoes feel appropriate to me there. I don't know what kind of drunk people are going to be stumbling around on the field where we are. Like, if they step on my white shoes, I'm going to not be so thrilled. But if they step on black shoes, who the heck cares? It's a rock show. Let's rage. So, 2 pairs of Xero shoes. And then I also do have another pair of sandals that I will be wearing. If you want your Xero shoes because you trust the fact that I'm going to bring only 2 pairs of Xero shoes to Europe and I'm going to walk, I don't even know how many miles. It's going to be a lot of miles. We're really just traveling in and out by plane, just into Europe, out of Europe by plane. But everything else is walking and trains and public transit. Here we go. It's adventure time. I wouldn't trust any other shoe other than my Xero shoes, honestly, to be connected to the earth, to have the comfort of having my toes spread out. I'm going to be on a plane. Oh my gosh, lots of things. Xero shoes. You guys, if you want to try out a pair for your own, maybe you're going to go to Europe. Maybe you want a white pair of leather Dylans. You can absolutely get your own and simultaneously pay me by using my Xero Shoes affiliate link. What is that link, you ask? Let me tell you. zeroshoes.com/go/Tyler the Lady. And if you want to reach out to me, maybe you yourself are looking to book some travel that you want some assistance with, I will assist you. I will charge you a fee to do it, but I will assist you. Years, you guys, years in the travel industry. I'm happy to assist you. I'm not doing stuff for free anymore, though. I gotta be straight with everyone. Pay your friends. Pay your friends. Pay the people that you love for the services that they provide, because why? That is how you support them. That is how you support them. Everybody always wants to talk about this energy exchange, and then for some reason when it comes to friends, some people have a hard time saying, okay, I'm going to pay that much money for this service that you provide. If they are licensed, certified, have been doing it for years, pay them what they're worth. Pay them. Pay your friends. If you want to reach out to me, you can contact me at Broadpoints or at Tyler the Lady. And if social media is not for you, you can email me at broadpointspodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to check out my art pieces, if you want to see some of the stuff that, maybe I submitted that maybe will be featured in an exhibit, you can check it out first on my website, tylerthelady.com. I did just add a new piece up there. I am very excited about. It has just so much depth and glitter and color and vibrance, and I am just absolutely stoked about it. And so if you want to check that out, tylerthelady.com is where all of my art pieces are. Don't forget, when you're listening to this podcast, like it, rate it, review it, subscribe to this here podcast so that you know when the episodes are coming out, and most importantly, share. Sharing is caring, you guys. It truly is. Sharing is caring. And so with that, shall we wrap up this episode for the week? I think we shall. Let's hit it with that fundamental phrase. Worrying doesn't take away tomorrow's troubles. It takes away today's peace.